Welcome to the channel A31 Avo. Today in Watsonville, California with the Carmen Hass, also known as a Mendes, Loca o Mejorado. And take a look at the fruit. If I previously thought it was gonna have small fruit, that is not the case. We're getting good sized fruit here in the A31 Northern Central Coast, Monterey Bay. Once again, Watsonville, California, Zone 9B. There's plenty of Fruitset and nice sized fruit too. This is on I want to say a fall bloom. Plenty of Fruitset, plenty of production. Again, precocious. And then it's done well. It's responded to some squirrel bites. It's healed over a lot of damage. And then my uncle was kind of throwing the fruit panicles back into the tree, wrapping it against the tree, hiding the fruit. Again, hiding the fruit better in its canopy. And it's doing well. Once again, Carmen Hass, Mendes, Loca o Mejorado, Phoenix too. Alright, that's gonna need to go. And then, but today we're here for the feeding. It's gonna be 2 to 1. 16 ounces of the citrus and fruit tree food, paired with its bloom enhancer, the Ultra Bloom plant food. Again, this stage of fruiting, it helps sustain the fruit. 733-01010 added together 71313. And then disinfected and ready to harvest some budwood. All right. Ooh. Sorry about that, but yeah, just a quick little sample cut right here. Outward facing vegetative limb right here. Inward vertical. Take a look. It's coming down to about the height of the fence. So right there. But again, leave it an out. Leave it an out, especially with some foliage. You don't want to leave it overexposed because it is hiding fruit. Okay, so about that height. And so all that's coming off. This one, inward facing. This one I can thin. That's gonna be at the base, at the collar. And the collar is gonna be that little nub. That thick part of that branch right there, that's the collar. Whenever I say thin at the collar, it's right there at that hump, that bump at the limb's base. And this is good sized budwood. Look at that bud swell right there. Okay, almost like a fat number 2 pencil, like the thicker ones. Okay. So I'm bringing it back down to about, again, aiming for about the height of the fence, and it's really just that one area. And then whatever is kind of running into the citrus, stimulating it to go left. All right, let me feed. Once again, about 16 ounces, a little bit less, and that's okay, at the tree's drip line. So the canopy edge. Already peeled back is the mulch. It's a little thin, and I really don't plan on rejuvenating it that much because it's keeping itself cool under its own canopy. Alright, 8 ounces on this half, and then the rest on the other half. And then again, a little thin on the mulch. And next up, half a cup, about 8 ounces of the Ultra Bloom. All right, take a look. We're about right there. So again, aiming for like about 8 ounces. I eyeball it. So just about like 4 here. and the other 4 over here. And now we scratch that in with my claw right here. Let me scratch that in. All right, once again, it's been fed and scratched in. It's the EB Stone organic lineup. And then once again, that's the fence. That's coming off right there. Harvesting budwood right there. And then again, just right there, pushing it to go this way, to the left. Let me see if I can do a cut. We'll go right there on an outward facing bud with this leaf right here. Again, it's not very well expressed, but I know something will come back. And then take a look at the budwood. Very thick and rigid, not that flexible, but still green. All right, let me harvest. All right, take a look, a lot came off. I'll defoliate right now, revealing the amount of sticks that we have. Budwood, we'll count right now. I cleared the alley between the 2 trees. I ended up having to take off some of the citrus. It's not very productive, so I'm favoring for sure the avocado. And again, I harvested the thicker, rigid budwood, leaving it on an outward facing vegetative shoot. But even then, the vegetative shoots, all vegetative shoots, although thin, it could still be harvested. If you're good, like I could do it, I could get it done, I could graft this. You're gonna have to baby a little bit, but I have it down. But all these thin vegetative shoots are gonna be heading cuts, again on an outward facing bud. So I'll leave it on this leaf right there, and you can barely see the expressed bud right there. But I wanna stimulate a fall bloom. So all these vegetative shoots, these thinner ones, again, less than ideal budwood, it still works. I'll still have it. Like this one, another one. I'm gonna head cut. Okay, decapitate to stimulate bloom bud swell. These little lower shoots, these ones. All right, and again, I'm gonna try to catch it, but so something like that. And it fell to the ground, I'll pick it up. But let me get to it. Heading cuts, stimulating fall bloom set. So as we're taking these off, it's gonna go again. I want to bog this tree down with production now that it's established. I really don't want to let it get away from me. I want to keep it tight. And on these vegetative shoots, if they're downward facing, cut them back to where they spring back up. All right, either horizontal or preferably even vertical, but at this point, horizontal is okay. All right, and then for the ones that are just small or wimpy, just decapitate, just the small. Again, in theory, that's budwood, but I'm not really working with that. All right, so again, good budwood pile, and then this is just decapitated. And then the ones that are downward facing because of production, we'll obviously leave them. Just leave them, all right? If they have any production on them, I left them. I don't want to interrupt or disrupt the production. But right here, I'm clean already, and I want it to go that way. I want it to come this way. Now defoliate all that. Let me bring the green waste bin. All right, take a look. It's going to be 20 of the bigger sticks. But again, these can be cut down into more pieces, and then so 20 and like 10 pieces of the smaller ones. Okay. So Carmen has budwood. If you need any, let me know. I'm going to grab some of this, but I have plenty of mosquito. But if you need any, let me know. Comment down below. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace. I'm out.